This is the Paranormal Report. Backed by popular demand, dumb
You wanted
dancing.
dancing. You wanted dancing. We gave
I don't
you
know
dancing.
why. Yeah, we were going to get rid of it and do something different. People are like, no, don't get rid of it. Don't get rid of it.
Lordy. Oh, my God. Okay.
Big day. You know, we were out and about. Yeah, we were out and about, and we almost literally ran into a couple of listeners, Jan and Cindy. And
yes,
very nice
so
folks.
Awesome.
Very nice
Very nice people. Oh my God. It was kind of like a little shock and a surprise because we don't usually,
we
don't usually see anyone that knows
we're not
us.
usually spotted by the paparazzi.
I mean, we're not Taylor and Travis. I mean,
no, far from it. Whatever a celebrity is, we are the opposite of that. So it's always great to run into listeners.
Yeah, no, they were so sweet. And we apologize because we had just kind of rolled out of bed. So we were not.
I was not at my most presentable. That's for sure. But it was great to meet them.
No, it was very nice meeting them and chatting with them. So big shout out and to their sons that listen and their whole family. Thank you. We appreciate it.
We appreciate it very, very much. Something else we appreciate, big news day. There's a ton going on today in general. You got that big Apple announcement. There's a lot going on. I won't get into it in the world of geopolitics. And then you had this big UAP
Didn't know about that.
hearing. There's a whole thing going on. Let's not talk about it. We'll make a lot of people upset.
My focus, I was hyper-focused on this disclosure meeting, this oversight committee. I won't say disclosure meeting, but oversight hearing.
Yeah.
Another hearing.
Yeah.
So some people are going to be like, well, what is this? Like the third hearing?
Yeah. I thought this one was good. I felt it was stronger than the second one.
Very much so. Like, because I paid a little attention to the second one because remember we watched it together. We were like kind of, and I was like, whatever. Yeah. But this one,
I thought this was
I don't know,
really
for whatever reason, this one held my interest big time. I learned a lot, which, I just want to quickly just say, a lot of people already know a lot of stuff that was probably presented today. Right. I'm like the average Joe. I don't follow a lot of this. So
even I don't follow as deeply as some people. I mean, some people know every case, chapter, and verse, and I don't put myself in that category, even though I follow it more closely than the average person. But there were things that I had heard about that were fleshed out a little bit. For example, George Knapp was talking about the case where he had gotten a bunch of papers from the Soviet Union. Or from Russia.
He smuggled them out of Russia.
But he talked about a case where UFOs interfered with their nuclear ICBMs in the early 80s. And it reminded me so much of the American case in the 60s in Malmstrom Air Force Base. And basically what he said, and I'd heard this before, but I didn't realize this put a little meat on the bones for me. That essentially they cannot control their nuclear missiles, and there were a bunch of UFOs spotted over this base. And then basically the missiles went into their launch sequence, and they couldn't stop it. And then the UFOs disappeared, and then they went back to normalcy. And, he said we could have been moments from nuclear destruction because
World War III. Yeah.
And he said, and I thought this about the Malmstrom incident in Montana in 1967. And we've interviewed Robert Salas about this, who was at the base where UFOs showed up and they couldn't control the ICBMs. It's almost like whatever it is, whoever it is, they're sending kind of a message of saying, hey, you know what? We're kind of in control here.
Well, to add to that, he said after that little event happened, the Russians took apart their entire launch control
sequence, and they couldn't find anything wrong.
Couldn't find anything wrong. Couldn't find it.
Yeah,
said nothing.
And that was
only.
Representative Burleson brought a piece of video. I wish we could show it. Again, YouTube.
Oh my gosh,
YouTube,
this was to me the big piece. And some of the other panelists said that, like, they were asked what would be one piece of definitive proof, and a couple of the panelists had said this video today.
Yeah, and essentially it was a drone off the coast of Yemen. This was, what, was it October of last year? Am I remembering correct? Late last year?
I have it written down.
And
in
basically,
my big notes.
they hit this drone. Was it an MQ-9 drone?
MQ-9 was following this UAP. Okay,
right.
And then another MK-9 came in. So there were 2 drones following this UAP going super fast. And the one drone, which was off screen, you couldn't see it, fired a missile at the UAP.
Missile, yeah.
A Hellfire missile. It hit the UAP. And very interestingly, it was going down. It never crash landed, right? This thing. It just kind of went down closer to the ocean.
And it kept going.
It kept going. It kept going. And it had 3 some of the Congress people were saying that it was debris. Others said 3 orbs that were deployed from the UAP. But if it was debris, it was following. It was following this
like
UAP.
We laugh at your little missiles.
Yeah.
We laugh at your little missiles.
That was stunning to watch. If you guys can go back and watch. Yes.
And there were some great military folks. Chief Wiggins talked about, who's active duty Navy, talked about a transmedium craft that he saw come out of the ocean. We had, I believe it was Borland, and I can't remember what his rank was.
Dylan Borland, he was an intelligence specialist.
Yeah, he talked about a triangular, wasn't it? A triangular craft?
Triangular craft.
And we hear that a lot, and just with some crazy specs.
How much he personally had been retaliated against for coming out with this. They accused him of phishing scams, medical malpractice. He lost his job. He is now unemployed. He can't find work. He's been blacklisted because he came out to tell people what he saw, and they didn't want to hear it, basically.
Yeah.
And he has been, so really the purpose of this whole hearing wasn't so much that it was going to disclose, like the government was going to come out and say, this is it, here's what we found. It was more to say, these are the whistleblowers and they are getting backlash big time. Yeah. They are getting retaliated against and they need protection because the only committees that are helping them are the ones that they're reporting. So they're not really getting help. They're really getting
blacklisted. And they were talking about David Grush having his benefits cut off, his medical benefits, and Representative Luna said they're going to get right on that because the DOD, Department of Defense, I guess now the Department of War. Is gonna, they're trying to get some action from them and they're being stonewalled. And all of this brought home the message to me, AARO, the Department of Defense, these military contractors, they are all stonewalling. It's very interesting what George Knapp has said, and I've heard this before. I mean, Lou Elizondo talked about this, that a lot of this stuff has been routed to private contractors. And that way, if somebody submits a Freedom of Information request, a FOIA request to the government can say, we don't have anything because they don't have anything because the private contractors have it. And, the work of people like John Greenwald, who does tremendous work with the Black Vault. And he's not a true believer at all, but he does great work with FOIA requests. But there's only so much you can do when it's being routed. And I thought, I got to be honest, I was kind of skeptical about George Knapp being on the panel. I'm like, he's a broadcaster.
Well, and he doesn't have personal evidence, right?
But I mean, he is so credible. And I mean, they read off the list of awards he's won. Edward R. Murrow, Peabody Awards, multiple local Emmy Awards. I mean, he's kind of got into this bro culture of UFOs a little bit now with some of the different people, but still, he is so credible to me, and he's a journalist, and he's done a great job, and he was excellent. I thought he was just excellent.
He was. It was kind of funny because I believe it was Burleson asked him, well, how did you get these papers? How did you smuggle these out of Russia?
I was thinking that scene from Pulp Fiction with Christopher Walken, if anybody knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, not the watch scene. No. Jim!
This watch. I had it.
Basically, he was brilliant because what he had learned, he had this Thread 3 huge document of all this Russian information about what they were doing about UFOs and how they were investigating them. And they were doing it very differently than the U.S. They said, even Knapp said, China and Russia, they're not stifling their engineers and their scientists from studying this. They're encouraging them to study this. It's not like the U.S. where they're saying, oh, move away, there's nothing happening here.
Right.
Those countries are investing in it hugely. But Knapp went back and he said, I got the documents out because only the first page of all the documents were stamped. So he ripped off the first pages. So it just looked like it wasn't anything.
Yeah.
And it was a Russian physicist over there that actually helped him and got him the information. And they had said if it had been, 5 years later or 10 years
in prison and 10 years
or killed,
earlier, it would have been shot. Yeah. And I believe because this was around the time of Glasnost and Perestroika and Gorbachev, and so they were a little more lenient. Just tremendous.
Said if he went back now, he went back another time.
They wouldn't talk
and
to
nobody
him.
would talk to him.
Treat him like he had the plague.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
Oh, they mentioned my former professor, Bob Jacobs, because they were saying, has anything like this ever happened? Blah, blah, blah. And they were talking about AARO. And Luna came out all guns blazing, basically calling Sean Kirkpatrick, the former head of AARO, she called him a known liar. That's pretty strong. And she's going to subpoena
They're talking
him.
About subpoena him. Yeah, they're going to give him a subpoena.
I think
they're fed up with him.
And I want to get back to Bob Jacobs, but I am convinced that AARO is nothing but the same thing you saw with Project Grudge, Project Blue Book, all these different projects. It is a whitewash. AARO, I believe, is a whitewash. That's all it is.
That is. And, it's just to hide everything.
Him coming out in that Wall Street Journal article, that's all I needed. You could see this is a whitewash. This is a whitewash. And anyway, Bob Jacobs was my former professor, and he was one of the very early military witnesses to these kind of things. In 1964, he's a broadcasting guy, he's a film guy, and he was, I believe, in charge of a unit doing a filming of a actual film back when they used film of the missile test. And he saw it basically shot up and it was basically shot down. It was disintegrated. And he told where it really resonates with me is I had him for my classes in the early 90s, and this had to be 90 or 91. I heard him tell this very story.
Wow.
And this is before podcasting was even done. Yeah. So I know Bob. And he is not lying. And he has told the same story, for at least the 35 years I've known him. And he tried to get AARO because there was a call, let us know if he approached, and this is what Knapp talked about. He approached AARO and said, as a good American, I want to tell this story, because he basically was called into a meeting with two guys in suits and his commanding officer. They showed him the film. They basically said, I know this from, Knapp didn't say this, but basically they said, Jacobs, what are you doing out there? Are you screwing around? He said, no, we took a picture of the missile. We did it because Jacobs didn't see it at the time it happened. They showed the clip to him, and basically that's where he saw the disintegration and the shoot down of the missile by something that looked like some type of UFO. And they said, well, regardless, you never saw this. This never happened. You never repeat this when you leave this room. And years later, his commanding officer wrote a letter saying what he's saying is absolutely true. And AARO didn't want to hear from him, didn't want to hear from Robert Salas from the Malmstrom Air Force Base case that I was talking about earlier. They just don't want to hear the truth. They want to obscure the truth. And the last thing I'll say, I know we've been on this a long time and I'm on a soapbox here, but Representative Moskowitz basically said in so much words, I don't know what's true. I don't know what's going on, but I know we're being lied to. And I think that encapsulates
That's exactly what
all.
He said. And he's right. And, that's what I was impressed with this hearing. It's bipartisan. So it was not just Republicans. There were Democrats.
There were a couple people that were getting on their political soapboxes, which I didn't think was necessary because it's not the place for it.
Oh,
but for the most part,
I know a couple parts
it
where
was like, okay, let's totally
that.
talk about something else. It's like, no, that's not what this is about. But for the most
Burleson,
part,
I mean, he ended too. He said, everyone out there, if you're frustrated, he said, we're frustrated too. He said, we are. Luna said, we're not given the authority.
They're being blocked left and right.
They are. They're being blocked left and right. Burchett ended. He wanted to thank, Representative Luna and the panel. And he said, this is a tough issue. And that's quote, this is a tough issue. We all catch hell for it. So these people are even putting up their credentials on the line going after this because
what's the percentage in this for any of them? I figure they're all catching hell for doing this, Republican and Democrat, from their party leadership. I will say something right now, and we were talking about this morning. The current administration, they were going to tell us everything, and they haven't told us a damn thing.
That's right. Because it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's SSDD, like, where's your transparency, President Trump? Where's your transparency?
Same blank, different day. It's the same thing. I'm sorry. Last thing I just want to say, I thought that was interesting. They had Mr. Spielberger there. He's like a government watchdog. He's supposed to help determine the waste and the abuse and whatnot. And they kind of asked him, somebody said, is the government making like national security as an excuse to not be transparent with us? And he said, yes, and they overclassify everything. And he said the most famous overclassification of information was from the 9/11 Commission.
Right.
So he said...
they don't want you to know something. All they have to say is national security, national security, national security.
And that's what it is. And that's what the committee came out today saying. It's all overclassification. Right away, they just say, oh, it's classified. Oh, it's classified. Nope. It's security, national security, and it's just an excuse. So basically, and they're really trying to hope that they could get the Whistleblower Act passed and the Full Disclosure Act passed, because that's what they kind of ended with saying, enough of these hearings is what, I can't remember who said it now. I have all the notes, but they're all over the place. He said, it's time for action now. He said, now it's time to do something about this, not just talk about it. But you know what? I don't think anything's going to happen.
Because there's other members
I was today to hear it. Yep.
There are other members who have powerful alliances with these military contractors.
That's right.
And you don't think that there's money that changes hands and things.
Big time.
And they said even staffers were blocking things. It wasn't even elected people.
Yeah.
Other congressional staffers were blocking their access to different things.
Yes, they were being
blocked.
Who
elected these staffers?
You tell me. These Congress people were being blocked. He said,
by staffers.
By staffers, yes. So I thought that was interesting. They were kind of forthcoming. Do you feel, Jim, like maybe in the first hearing or so, they were a little more guarded about their feelings about all of this? And do you feel
I think
they were
this
a little
one,
more
the gloves
open
really
today?
came off. It was,
that's how
again,
I felt.
The first one I thought was great in and of itself. The second one I had a lot of hope for, and I thought was a major letdown. This one, but I do have a fear. There is so much going on politically now. You've got the domestic situation with immigration in Chicago and all these different things. And then you've got the international situation with war and Israel and Hamas and all that stuff. You've got the Apple rollout today, the big announcement of Apple. Where do you think this is going to rank on the news of the day?
Well,
it's going to be down at the bottom of the page.
No. It's not on the page, because before we came on air, I went on here. I did a Google search and I wanted to see what news outlets were reporting this
News Nation
oversight. News Nation and USA Today. That's it. That was it. That was all. Now, I don't know, later in the day, maybe if somebody will pick up on it and they'll like kind of mention it in passing. But no. It wasn't.
In a way, they scheduled, they couldn't have known about some of these late breaking news. But schedule against the Apple thing, that wasn't too smart. It's going to dominate. But it doesn't matter. They'll find another excuse to cover something else.
Dumb everyone is. They'll find something. So they're going to hide. They're just going to continue to hide. So if those of you out there were expecting like something earth shattering, it was basically the gist of this is trying to protect these people that are coming forward with this information because they've been blacklisted. David Grush had all his medical records released to the public. They don't need all of this. They fear things. They're afraid. Like Borland said, he wasn't afraid physically. Like he didn't physically think something was going to happen to him. But, he's like, what else are they going to do to me? I can't get a job. He's like, I am on unemployment because I've been blacklisted. And he's a huge intelligence specialist, video analyst. I mean, he's a big dude. He's got no prospects, no future, he said. He's so upset. I feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
I really do.
It's very sad. It's very sad.
So
Another thing that's sad, totally shifting gears, is the poor paranormal investigator who passed a while back. And you have an update on that one.
Yeah, Dan Rivera. So on Thursday, the coroner came out with the cause of death, and they said it was nothing unusual. So those that think it was Annabelle, it was not. He had a history of cardiac issues, so it was a cardiac-related death, they had come out to say. It was ruled as natural. He had a history of cardiac issues, were consistent with the findings, and that's what happened, unfortunately. Very sad, 54 years old. So, yeah. So hopefully this will kind of squash the rumors that Annabelle killed him. I mean, I'm sure there's still some people out there that think that.
Right. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Yeah. I don't think it was anything malicious. He said he wasn't feeling well. I mean, now some people will go and say that, that was the precipitating, that made him have a heart attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heavily
have respect for his family. They lost him. I mean, that is just absolutely horrible.
Sad.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So we have a little follow-up, Jim, right? Are you going to give us a little follow-up?
Well, the thing is, it's like all Conjuring all the time, all Warrens all the time.
This is going to be a lot of
which was cool because
today.
last week, actually, I interviewed Jeff Belanger, and I'm sure it came up sometime in the 20 years we've been talking. But I'd forgotten that he knew the Warrens, and he grew up in the area around the Warrens and actually was friendly with the Warrens growing up. So, but remember we talked about those overnight stays at the Warrens Occult Museum, and you were saying,
$2,000.
That's really pricey. And I made the point, well, if you divide that out, it's not more than a concert ticket these days. And hey, if people want to pay that, that's fine by me. Well, apparently people sided with me because get this. Reservations, this is according to ctinsider.com, reservations to stay at the property full of items that inspired The Conjuring, open to the public on Friday at 6 p.m. The first 100 nights are fully booked, and they cost $1,999 per night. And you can sign up for a wait list. For a wait list.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jim.
It says a max of 8 people are allowed to stay overnight. And the minimum age to book a stay is 18. And you said this last week, they have to sign a spiritual liability waiver to sign. And, again, I feel that, these guys bought the rights to this. That is their right to charge what they want to charge. And, I always find it interesting. I think people say, well, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. But then if they find something they really want, somehow they find the money. I don't know
Somehow they can afford it.
Somehow
I'm thinking, too, if you don't live in that area, you have to find airfare to get there.
But,
transportation.
Again, people pay for concerts. They go to see the Eagles and pay $500 a ticket or whatever it is. Although I'm afraid to say the name the Eagles, I might get sued by Don Henley. He has a habit of that kind of stuff.
What? They're not allowed to mention the band name?
No, they're very tough with any of their songs on YouTube. They immediately put rights claims on them. But anyway. Yeah.
Use a different band. I mean.
Yeah. But anyway,
the point
is that people will pay huge numbers to go and see a concert. And on one hand, I'm like, eh. But on the other hand, I'm like, hey, it's your money if that's what you want to do. And so I guess more power to them.
I don't care. Just don't complain that you don't have any money then.
Right.
Oh, groceries are so high. Well, if groceries were so high, then you shouldn't be spending $2,000 to go stand.
We all do it, I think.
Oh,
I
we
think
all do it. I do it too.
We talk about, money's tight or whatever, and then we go to a certain really fancy coffee place, You get my drift.
We didn't, did we? Oh.
Actually, we did. We
did get, totally an aside. How in the heck are pumpkin spice lattes over $6 now? Ridiculous. You know what? I'm making them at home. There you go. They lost me. We did have one over the weekend, though, as a little treat.
There we go. Hey, we're twinsies
because we're
today.
Empty. We are. We're empty nesters, and we're like, we have to cheer ourselves
What do we do now?
up.
We got to do something. We got to
buy Starbucks.
We're twinsies, and it wasn't even intentional, guys.
No.
I put this shirt on this morning. I was doing some campfire calls, and then you said, oh, my God, the shirt I'm planning on wearing is a very similar color.
Yes, we're in the blue, the blue realm today. The blue realm.
Well, more Conjuring, right?
There's a lot of Conjuring. Well, I put the poll up in a virtual campfire if you were planning on seeing
we
the
hit
movie.
3,000 members. We hit 3,000 members.
Yes. Yay. Very good. Yes. Well, I put the poll up.
Not for our Plus Club, but for the virtual campfire.
Right.
We're still shooting for 3,000 members in our Plus Club, but go ahead.
Boy, yes. But yeah. So I just want to know if people are going to go see the movie. Of course, you all know that I can't stand this stuff, so I won't go see it. You want to see it, Jim? I'm sure you want to see it, right?
I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Yeah. Well, this next story is from the New York Post. The Conjuring House. So this is not the Warrens museum or anything like that. The actual house, the real house, is up for foreclosure. And it's going to be auctioned off on Halloween, right? In Rhode Island. Yeah, October 31st. It's a listing on J.J. Manning Auctioneers. And it became famous for historical paranormal sightings and activities, right? So it's in the town of Burrillville. Yeah, Burrillville. And 8.5 acre property. And it was last sold in 2022 to a medium, Jacqueline Nunez. And she purchased it for $1.525 million. And that was in 2022. Why is she giving it up? Because she got into a lot of problems. Lots of problems were happening because she was planning overnight stays and keeping it like a tourism business, and some really weird stuff. She fired her property manager in 2023 after claiming the spirit of former owner John Arnold told her the worker was stealing from her. And then that firing started everything. A bunch of former employees came and they were doing legal battles against her. And people were coming and having run in with the police saying that they were supposed to stay there, but they weren't allowed to stay there because she lost her license. And people had spent hundreds and she gave no refunds. And apparently she was even harassing Jason Hawes from Ghost Hunters and his family. So there was that issue going on. And so she couldn't be reached for comment for this story.
Well, this is all alleged though, right? Alleged.
I guess that's not what they're saying, but that's not what the article is saying.
Yeah, we don't know.
They never used the word alleged, but this is what the article is claiming. So I will give you that, right? And the funny tie-in to our previous story is that Matt Rife and Elton Castee are openly campaigning to scoop up this house. They want this house too.
I bet they get it. I bet they've got deeper pockets than the people to go against, and it would make a perfect.
Well, you never know. You never know. It'll be interesting. I wonder if there's a way to watch it live, the auction, because I think that would be fun.
Well, no, but they need to be watching us because we're going to do our live stream on Halloween night. So what are you doing? You're sending people to the I don't know. Maybe we did do it Halloween a long time ago before you were even involved. Maybe.
I don't know. Remember. I know one night you did. It might have been Halloween. I was deathly ill. I think I had the flu.
Yeah,
it was the time you were David S. Pumpkins.
Yes,
because I was supposed to be the skeleton.
Yes,
the skeleton ghost. I was going to do, "Ay, Poppy," but I didn't get to do it because
you even had the costume and everything. Yeah,
I had the costume. I was so excited. I had the white wig. I was like, I'm chubby. This will be perfect. I could do, "Ay, Poppy," and it would be perfect. And then I got really, really sick, and I couldn't even move from the couch.
I'm David S. Pumpkins, and I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
Still one of my favorite skits from SNL. Good. I'm sorry. It's so very, good. Very good. But so this Halloween, we put up a poll. We've had some very interesting costume ideas. Couple people didn't realize you were already Chucky a couple years ago in 2022.
Right.
And didn't know that last year we were Lydia Dietz and Beetlejuice.
Right. The year before that,
so check out the old live streams.
What we do in the shadows. We were,
I
Laszlo,
loved that costume.
Yeah.
That was like my favorite costume.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was so excited to.
Then we were
you couldn't see it on camera, but I had the big hoop skirt, and it was so much fun.
Yeah. It was the Joker and Flo.
Pennywise. I was Flo.
Pennywise. Well, you were Penny. I was Pennywise. Weren't you Georgie?
I was Georgie with the raincoat and the red balloon. That was an easy costume.
Was I the Tim Curry Pennywise, or was I the more recent Pennywise? I can't remember. Might have been.
I don't know. That's your favorite costume.
That's a favorite. That's a favorite one I've done. That was like the best one because I look so sinister.
You did. I did a good job on the makeup. That was hard.
You did a great job.
For somebody who doesn't know how to do, I can't do my own makeup. I suck. I don't like wearing makeup. Just in general, every day makeup, I don't do well with that. So to do that was like, it was a miracle. And then I'm like, it's not even. But so Halloween night, guys. So we'll be passing out candy to the trick-or-treaters and then running in and getting on here and celebrating with you guys. Hopefully you have to tune in.
Absolutely.
And see what we're going to be.
Yeah.
I just quickly do want to ask, do you guys, I'm just going to put that out there. Do you guys like when I do a drink recipe and a food recipe, or would you rather just like bag it? I don't know. Cause I think some people enjoy it and I think some people just sort of like, oh God. And they roll their eyes.
I think it's great. I think it's great, but
I know
would
you
be
like
interested
it.
in what people say, but I think it's good. I think it's a fun thing, and it adds some festive things and kind of like an audience participation thing where people can join in and so forth.
Maybe you could slow down on the drink this time from Summerween so that you're not like wasted in the first 10 minutes.
I didn't understand what the drink was, and I just went, ugh, and I'm like, hey, everybody.
Yeah, it was a double.
You said it was like a triple, and I believe it.
It probably was close to a triple.
I drank it, and I'm like, oh.
There was an enormous amount of tequila in that margarita. I mean, like,
oh my Lord. Well,
it was strong.
If some people are right, I might need that. You know, that 3-eye atlas headed our way, that interstellar maybe comet, maybe not. But they're saying here, this is livescience.com, and of course they're fully on the comet train. You know, they're saying there's no evidence it's anything else.
Because it's science.
But they say that it's revealing that its tail is growing before our eyes. And on August 27th, astronomers at the Gemini South Telescope in Chilean Andes captured a detailed new photo of 3-eye atlas, revealing the first clear look at the comet's tail. The plume of ice and dust is blown away from the comet by solar wind and the stream of charged particles emanating from the sun. So they're saying that, yep, it is a comet. It is a natural object and not an extraterrestrial probe, which has been controversially proposed by some scientists with little to no supporting evidence. Yeah, they did twist the knife, right?
Yeah.
Well, now, I've heard other things. I don't have the article, but other people, I think Avi Loeb saying maybe this is going to shoot off kind of probes or something towards Earth. You know,
I read that too.
Yeah. And also, there's skyatnightmagazine.com says that a new image of the interstellar comet 3-eye atlas shows it's becoming more active and getting longer as it approaches the sun. I can't remember which one of these articles it is, but they think this may be the oldest comet ever that has ever traveled by us. Just very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let me see. There was one other thing I wanted to mention here. They said the team also gathered information on the light being emitted by the comet, its spectrum, which can reveal more about its composition and chemistry and how it changes as it passes through the solar system. So it's going to be really interesting. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, Halley's Comet made its appearance because isn't it like every 80 or 90 years it comes? Because I remember when I was a kid, they said, you know, this isn't going to happen again in our lifetime, but this has got to be, you know, in some ways, I think this is a bigger deal because it comes from so far away.
So you do believe it's a comet now?
I'm not 100% that it's a comet.
Oh, okay.
It's looking more like that, but I'm not convinced. I'm not 100% convinced. I mean, I don't think Avi Loeb is stupid or uncredible. So,
right. Well, I mean, I don't know. If you want to be conspiratorial, which I guess sometimes I am, right?
Well, me too.
I don't know, but like, yeah, I can, hey, give me a couple minutes on AI and I can create some kind of picture and make you believe it's a comet too.
Well, the thing that makes me, what's the word I'm looking
I don't know.
for? What's the word I'm looking for? It makes me skeptical is that they showed those pictures that were supposed to be from the James Webb telescope, and it looked like a picture of Pong from the 1970s. And it's like James Webb Space Telescope is supposed to give us highest resolution pictures ever.
That's
and
right, right? Isn't it?
It looks like Pong.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you hiding?
They do. It's just like we always talk about. They just put out what they want you to believe and not necessarily. That was, I mean, not as a callback to the hearing today, but they asked Dylan Borland about what was going to make them believe that, they said that they had to have, I don't know if it was Arrow or what, had to have scientific proof of extraterrestrials. And the only way you could do that is to go to that planet. And George Knapp's like, why do you need extraterrestrial proof just to show that? I mean, so it was just like, it's whatever excuse they want to give you. And it's the same with this.
It's you need to have this. Oh, you have that. You need to have this. And it's moving the goalposts. Well,
I mean, so some people believe it's a comet and others don't. So, okay, there you go. And you people don't know any more than Avi Loeb knows. So nobody knows. And there you go. And when it comes this way, maybe we'll figure it out. But until then, it's all speculation. There.
Well, I speculate that you have Conjuring on the brain because you have another Conjuring story for us, don't you?
It's all about Conjuring. So anyway, we have to mention, this is from People magazine, biggest opening weekend. It box office record, $194 million for this franchise. It was like it is just absolutely huge. It beat out 2017's It to make it the new worldwide record. Because it was only 190 million. This was in worldwide. This was 194. They said it's just going to keep growing. It's just huge. But then, what was really interesting is there was another article from Forbes, saying, why the record box office makes no sense. And this was kind of a fun article, actually, because, they're like, well, is it any good? And I'm not going to give you any spoilers because I did read things, but, and he said it depends on who you ask. Critics might say one thing, audience members have the final say. So what he did in this article, and I'm trying to get his name, Paul Tassi. Yeah. He compared all the Conjuring movies and what the critic score was and what the audience score was. So like the original The Conjuring was 86% critic score, 83% audience score. And he goes through each movie. And The Nun was the worst one, 24% for critic score, 35% for audience. But the weird part, if you look at the box office, The Nun earned the most money out of all those movies, even though it scored the least, $366 million. They said that's just bizarre. How is it weird? It was just kind of funny to see how they all ranked. So I'll put that link in the show notes so you guys can go to it and see it. He's speculating, why is this one doing so well? Because the one prior to this, what was it? The Devil. See, I don't know all these. The Devil Made Me Do It did not do as well. Only just 20 million above the opening weekend for this movie. And that was total, because they said this one's probably going to easily sail to $400 million or more. And it'll probably be in the top 10 highest earning horror movies of all time. If it does 500 million, it'll be in the top 5, he said. But his speculation is, why is this doing so well? And he's kind of comparing it to Avengers Endgame, the effect of it's the last or maybe the final movie. So people are flocking to go see what happens. But he also doesn't believe it's the final Conjuring movie, considering he thinks, because of how much money it's making and the spinoffs and all that jazz. So just an interesting little article. There you go.
It is indeed. It is.
If you see it, hey, post on Virtual Campfire if you liked it.
I might consider going to see it, but if you're not going to see it, I wouldn't want to.
No, why would I go see it by
myself? Oh,
you know what we're going to see? We're going to go see Downton Abbey.
Well,
That's
we could
more
see
my
Downton
speed.
Abbey and the
How
Conjuring.
about? No, I got it. I'll go into Downton Abbey and you go into the other theater and watch The Conjuring. It'll make everyone happy.
I had to sit through the last Downton Abbey movie, so you owe me. That was terrible.
No, not that much. Yeah, it was horrible. I don't even know if I'm only going to see it because the girls are kind of pressuring me to go see
that
this.
Was like
I would
watching
just wait for
sets and clothing. And I was a huge fan of the TV series. It was tremendous.
We were huge.
But the last movie was just like, well, let's let the characters walk around a little bit and see their fancy costumes. There wasn't a story. It was just horrible.
What's her name's not in it?
Yeah, Maggie Smith, the Dowager.
So this is going to blow. I wanted to wait till it came on streaming, but they're pressuring me. Mom, you have to go see it. They're going to go see it. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it themed, dear. I'm going to make little tea sandwiches and scones. And when we come home from the movie, we'll have a nice little tea dinner and rip the movie apart.
Well, I have something even older than some of the members of the cast of Downton Abbey.
What would that be?
Atlantis and the Joe Rogan Experience. Again, I had a recent guest who, Ben Van Kurik, I believe that is the pronunciation. He talked about a discovery of the coast of Spain. Apparently, there's a gentleman by the name of Michael Donnellan who thinks that he found a part of Atlantis that maps perfectly to Plato's description. And apparently, I guess there's going to be a documentary on this. I've always been interested in Atlantis because when something like this, it's kind of like what they call the flood myth, right? All these different cultures have the flood myth. It's a myth. Well, the fact that all these cultures have this flood myth, you know what that means? There was actually a damn flood. That's what it means. And to me, all this stuff about Atlantis, it may not be what we see in the movies or something, but there was something to that. I really do believe that. And apparently they found underwater structures and sediment-covered sites indicating sudden destruction, because that's what they talk about. Aligned with Plato's accounts of climate, societal structures, and ancient mythologies, providing a comprehensive context for their claims. Plus, I love that song by Donovan, the Atlantis song. Love it. It's a great song. Anyway, way down below the ocean. Never mind. Don't want to get a right strike. One time I sang Jingle Bells in a live stream, and they marked it as Frank Sinatra, and I'm like, well, thank you. But they gave me a contact, a 10 strike, and I had to fight it.
There you go,
And
Frankie.
It's like you can't get more public domain than Jingle Bells. Anyway, Van Kurik said on Atlantis, it's fascinating. They 100% found something that is man-made. The technology revealed long linear structures etched across the ocean floor, which formed a series of enormous concentric circular walls, each standing more than 20 feet tall and arranged in an organized pattern.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I guess there's going to be a documentary coming out about this. So I'd be very, very interested in it because I do, frankly, believe that there is something to the Atlantis myth. I believe that there was an Atlantis.
Well, there you
now,
go.
where it was, I don't know if this is where it was, but it's fascinating stuff.
There you go. There you have it. It is fascinating. I don't understand a lot about it, but...
But you just keep coming back to the Warrens and the Conjuring, don't you?
Well, I don't want to talk about this next article. I'm just going to put it in the show notes. There is a link out there to this article. If you don't like the Warrens and you're upset with them, you might want to read this very scathing article from avclub.com. The title, and this will just tell you what you want to know: the paranormal hucksters Ed and Lorain Warren get a send-off they don't deserve.
Ugh.
This article was extremely scathing. I don't know if this author ever even met these people, but it was not nice, not in the least. And, they can't defend themselves. And just kind of casting aspersion on the whole family. I just rubbed me the wrong way, but I thought we would include it. I don't want to get into too much of it because it's kind of I would view it as an opinion piece, but of course they don't mark it as an opinion piece. So he's getting into the last movie and things that the Warrens actually did in real life, which I don't even know would be true. But it was very scathing. So I just kind of included it there. You guys could go check it out if you'd like to, although we probably shouldn't give him any more hits on the story. But he makes a lot of claims that, so he's not a believer. So there you go. That's all you want. That's all you have to know. So not good.
Last thing I want to mention, and Dar, you don't know about this. It just actually came across my computer as we were talking, and it's very sad news. And you'll be shocked. You've probably heard me talk about, and this is not a paranormal, but it's more of a podcasting story. It's a major podcasting story. You've heard me talk about a gentleman by the name of Todd Cochran. He's in the Podcasting Hall of Fame and the head of Blueberry, the one media host that's been around forever, and apparently he has passed away.
Oh, my gosh.
And, a lot of our audience, not being in the podcasting business, maybe not a lot of our audience is familiar with him, although I did get an email from one of our listeners who knew that I knew Todd. And I literally saw it, and the email came in a couple minutes later. I just wanted to say, for those of you who have heard of him or you haven't heard of him, he's in the Podcast Hall of Fame. He has been, over the years, one of the most tireless defenders of independent podcasters like us. And he's always been, on the different committees for measurement and all the things. And in the industry, always holding the flag high for the independent creators. Don't forget the independent creators. And I don't know what happened. I think he passed yesterday from what I'm seeing here. I mean, this just literally came across 24 minutes ago as we're recording this. And from Sounds
How
Profitable.
Old was he?
I don't know. My general sense was
that matters any,
he had to be
it doesn't matter.
Maybe a few years older than me. Yeah, yesterday morning, this is according to Sounds Profitable, which is a major industry publication and organization. Yesterday morning, Blueberry Podcasting founder Todd Cochran passed away. In a statement from Blueberry, CFO Barry Kantz eulogizes Cochran, reflecting on his career since founding Raw Voice and Blueberry in 2005, as well as launching Geek News Central in the earliest days of podcasting. Details regarding services and ways to pay respects will be made public soon, and the new media show will air a final memorial episode tomorrow with longtime co-host Rob Greenlee, joined by Adam Curry, Mike Dell, and Rob Walsh. So
61. How sad.
Wow. So our hearts go out to Todd's family. And thank you. And he was also a Navy veteran. So our hearts go out to him and his family, and we thank him for everything that he did for podcasting, because without people like Todd Cochran and Adam Curry, and the list goes on, we would not be able to sit here and do the things that we do. So thank you, sir, and rest in peace.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, I'm bummed. I'm bummed.
I don't want to end on sad news, though. People need to be uplifted.
Yes. So
I don't know what's uplifting.
Yeah.
We can let people know, hey, if you are in the Northeast Ohio area, Jim is actually going to be making an appearance for once. Woo-hoo.
Yes. Hey, hell has frozen over. I only go out once a year. It's kind of like, what is that? Like, what is that Christmas monster that comes out? Not the Krampus, but there's another one, Bear Schnickel. He comes out once a year. Yeah. I'm like Bear Schnickel or whatever his name is. I come out once a year. Now, what's the date? Give me the date. Do you have it in front of you?
October 8th. October 8th.
Lorain Public Library, main branch. What time does that start?
6:30. I'm doing this from the top of my head.
Good.
Yeah, so Jim, it's an evening around the campfire with Jim Harold at Lorain County Public Library, the main branch. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do?
Well, we're going to tell stories. No, I'm going to stand there and smile. No, we're going to tell stories and we're going to share stories. And
so
basically,
it'll be
if
like
you
a
love the
live
Campfire show, if you love the Campfire show, come and be a part of it. We're really looking forward to it. Last time we checked, there were only a few seats left. So
you have to register. So register,
and maybe if enough people, maybe they'll put us in a bigger room. I don't know what their facilities are there, but
I don't either. But this is our first time doing this.
Yeah, but I think looking at next year, it's looking like we're going to start doing more in-person appearances.
Which would be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
If we can do that,
interesting talks. It's something I've never really pushed, but I think that 2026 will be the year. But for 2025, I think the only thing we have planned at this point is that particular presentation. So I hope you get to make it, Lorain.
And you have some
Public Library.
You have some others coming up, but it'll be in the early part, isn't it? Or January. Is any in December?
There might be one in December. But get this one while the weather's good. Get
this one.
This is a good time to come. Yeah, well, the weather's good and it's spooky season, so it's even better.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Let me see. I was just checking oh no, I'm wrong. 6 o'clock. Sorry, 6 to 7:45.
6 o'clock.
They're saying there's only 2 openings left, but maybe if there's like a huge wait list, they might make it bigger or maybe offer it another night, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know there was only 2 openings left, but it's on West 6th Street in Lorain, Ohio. Yeah. So there we go. So if you're in the Northeast Ohio area and you want to venture out, but you do have to register. So you have to go to Lorain Public Library.org. And try to go ahead and register for that. And if it's closed out, tell them you demand more time with Jim.
Exactly. Well,
they'll listen to you.
Thank you all so much for being a part of the show. We appreciate it very much.
Diarrhea of the mouth today, so excuse me, everyone. I was very hopped up.
Yeah, I could tell. Well,
and coffee.
We thank you so much. And we'll just remind you of a couple things. Our merch store, JimHarold.com/merch, because is there a better time of the year to wear spooky stuff? You can see on the screen there, you've got Stay Spooky design. So if you just want Stay Spooky, I know that's such a fun saying that we kind of coined, and it's kind of catching fire here. You can get different Stay Spooky things like a mug and a hoodie and a t-shirt. Then you can get it with Campfire. You can get just we just got that big spotlight from Apple Podcasts for our new logo, Jim Harold's Campfire True Ghost Stories, playing cards, a lamp, that hoodie that we were talking about last week. You've really been working hard.
I've got a craft coming. So if you want something that I've made, little less scale than last year, I'm working on it. It's currently in the kitchen, actually.
I had to laugh at this one, though. It looks like it's actually on fire.
I know. There you go.
Fire retardant.
It's hot.
I thought that was funny. And you've got the usual compliment, of course, the books. You can still get the books.
Yes, get the books. Very good.
The pins, we're running low on pins. Love. So that means you get your pins while you can. Well, I mean, I'm sure we'll reorder if we run out, but...
I am trying. It's very hard to bobble everything.
You're doing a great job.
Well, no, it's like I wanted to work more on merch and put some different things up, but then I get pulled here and pulled there, and it's just difficult. So I'm trying.
She's working hard. She's working hard. That's for sure.
I'm trying.
And we're working hard. We're trying to get to 3,000 plus club members. And we're still quite a ways away from that. We're hundreds away from that. We'd really appreciate, because we really need the help. There's no question about that. So if you could please join JimHaroldPlus.com, JimHaroldPlus.com. And again, the people that are in, they seem to love it. And you can get $30 off your first year or $5 off your first month. Just go to JimHaroldPlus.com. And then finally, our free community. Again, we're having a good time over there. virtualcampfiregroup.com, virtualcampfiregroup.com. There's also an accompanying app. But go to the website first, you sign up, and then it'll explain everything about the app. But it's a great community. None of the social media garbage, just great people talking about spooky stuff, sharing their stories, talking about the shows. It's just a good time.
Yeah, and the one section, the Spooky Studio Club on the side there, if you're kind of contemplating joining and you kind of want to see what's going on, we post what's been, what's been posted for our Plus Club members. So like we just posted a cryptid report, kind of gives you a little hint on what you could be listening to. Jim has his hidden gems. He's got his Campfire remasters, which, oh my gosh, if you're a Plus Club member, don't they sound wonderful now? So he's gone back, way back when they didn't have all of this wonderful technology that they have now. And he's kind of run it through different things and tweaked the sound, and no ads. So you could listen to an episode without ads from previously. So, I mean, this club's a great value in my opinion, but,
I think you were spot on with that. I think you're spot on.
I am, right? Yeah. Well, go to so you can kind of get an idea what's been posted recently in that virtual Campfire group in that section too.
And we have 8 pieces of content exclusive for Plus members every month. 4 of the
behind the scenes.
We have
3
behind the scene, 3 interview shows. We have the behind the scenes. We have the Campfire's hidden gems and the remastered Campfire, where we take out all the ads and remaster the audio. A couple of those every month. People seem to love that, so check it out, jimharold.com/plus. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We will talk to you next time. Have a great week, everybody. Stay safe and stay spooky. Oh, yeah.
Bye. Oh, more dancing?